Hi, welcome back to Maths Playground. Today I'll be teaching you equations of lines. But as we all know, lines can be straight like this or horizontal like this, or they could be tilted like this in many different ways. So today we're going to be discussing the slope of a line, how you find the slope, and what you need it for. So let's start by looking at the plane. The Cartesian plane, which we use to graph lines. So we have the point 0, 0, which is right in the middle of the x-axis, which has all the x values on it, and the y-axis, which has all the y values on it. In this bottom part right here, we have x is positive, and y, and all the y values down here, the x values up here are positive, and the y values down here are negative. And if we go up here, we also have x is positive. But over here, the only thing that's different is that all of the y values up here, above the origin, are also positive. But if we move over to the side, in this place, the x values are negative, and the y values are positive. And last part down here, we have x is negative, and y is also negative. Okay. So now, I'm going to make another version of the Cartesian plane over here. We have the y-axis over here. The one that goes up and down, and we have the x-axis over here, the one that goes side to side. So we have our origin, and then all of the x values over here that are positive, and the x values back here that are negative. The y values up here, which are positive. The y values down here that are negative. So when we want to tell someone where to make a point, we tell them the x value first and then the y value. So let's say we wanted to graph the point 1, 1, which means x is 1 and y is 1. We have x is 1 over here, but we need to go up so that y is 1, and that point would be right here. And if we wanted to make a line that goes through 1, 1 and the origin, which is 0, 0, it would go something like this. So now that we know how to graph a line, we're going to move on to the equations. We have a standard form of a line, the point-slope form of a line, and the slope-intercept form of a line. So the standard form is ax plus by is equal to c, where a and b are never both 0. As we know, the slope of a vertical line is undefined, but the slope of a horizontal line is 0. But we also have a formula to find m. M is equal to y1 minus y2 divided by x1 minus x2, I'm pretty sure. And so, and m is equal to the slope. So let's go into point slope form. We have y minus y1, lots of people also say y1 minus y2 is equal to the slope, which is m, times x1 minus x2. And all three of these equations we have here all come from the same equation, which is the standard form. And then the slope-intercept form, y is equal to mx plus b. We have b, which is a constant value, m, which is the slope, and the x and y values. Up and back to the standard form, a, b, and c are all constant values. So now we know what slope is, but let's see how we can use slope. What do we need slope for? So let's say you have this is your house, your wall, and down here is your floor. You want to hang up a picture on this dot, and you need to know with which slope you have to put the with which slope you have to tilt the ladder so it's not going to fall backwards, but it's not going to be too short. That's when we need to use slope. So let's say let's start with some questions. So first we have to find an equation whose graph is the line passing through the points -1, 7 and -5, -3. So -1 and -5 are the x values, 7 and -3 are the y values. So let's first try to find the slope. We know the way to find the slope is y1 minus y2 divided by x1 minus x2. So y1 over here would be, so we would have 7 minus -3 divided by -1 minus -5, and that would give us 10/4, which we could reduce to 5/2. But now we don't just need the slope, we need to find the equation. So let's see how we can do that. Right. So just remember, I have the point written down over here. We have point xy and the point -1, 7. So now now that we know the slope, we can do this exact same thing, but with the points we have now, which are xy and -1, 7. So we have y minus 7 divided by x minus -1, which is equal to 5/2. So now if we multiply both sides of the equation by x minus -1, so we know what y minus 7 is, we would get y minus 7 is equal to 5/2 times x minus -1. So from here, since we have a fraction, and we obviously want to get rid of the fraction, so we're not in the world of confusing numbers, we can multiply both sides by 2. So we'll end up with 2y minus 14 is equal to 5x. Since we have negative and negative, this will turn into positive. 5x plus 5x plus 5. So we ended up with the point slope form over here. And now we're going to convert this whole thing into the standard form. So we're going to have to take all of this into one side. We get 2y minus 5x is equal to 5 plus 14, which is equal to 19. So our standard form would be 2y minus 5x is equal to 19.